So far, we've created a collection, but now we're going to take a look at smart collections. Collections aren't really a new thing for Bridge. We've had collections before. The way you get to them is a little bit newer, and it's actually easier because it brings them out. It gives us our own little panel where we can always get to our collections. But smart collections are actually a new thing here. The way to think of a smart collection is it is a collection that is smart. No, that's bad. It is a collection that you can build automatically, that where Bridge will automatically add photos into a collection for you based on criteria that you give it. So as you add photos to your computer, and as you add photos using Bridge to your computer, you can have Bridge do the work of adding them to a collection without you having to go through that process. So bear with me for a minute, because I'm going to use an example of a sports photographer, and at the end of the video, I'll tell you how you can kind of extrapolate this to maybe use it in your situation. Okay? But I'm not a sports photographer. If I am a sports photographer, let's say that somebody is always asking me for photos of someone batting. All right? So that's something common that I'm getting asked for a lot. And if I create a collection, I could do that. I could go through my photos here, and I'll keyword them, and I'll keyword them with a bat keyword, and then I can create a collection, and that'll give me a really easy way to go in there and find these photos of people batting. But what happens after the next baseball game? Well, I've got to go in there and keyword my photos and add the photos into the collection, and keep doing that after every single photo shoot. I've got to go in there and I've got to police that collection and add more photos to it. Or I can use a smart collection. All right, so let's go through this file list here. I'm just going to select all the photos of people batting. All right, and here we go. And I think we got one more down here. And we've got two at the bottom here. I'm going to purposely leave those photos unselected at this point. All right, because this is going to help the demo in a second. All right, so I've selected my photos of people batting. Now, I don't have this keyword yet, so I'm going to create it. I'm going to go down to the keywords panel, just click that little plus icon down there, and just type in the word bat. So I've created a bat keyword. By the way, if you don't see this panel, just go up to your window menu and you can get to it. So I've created a bat keyword. If I want to assign this keyword to these photos, I just click that little checkbox. So what keywords are is they're like little tags. It's little organizational tags that will let you very quickly come in and find these photos one day. I can come in and I can search my keywords for all photos all photos that are keyworded with bat. All right, and you can do that over here inside of your filter panel. But these smart collections actually work even better, because watch what we're going to do here. Instead of creating a collection, which I mentioned in the beginning, after the next photo shoot, I'd have to go in and add more photos to that collection. I'm going to create myself a smart collection. Okay? And in this smart collection, I'm going to tell it to look on my entire computer, but you can refine that down if you want to. And then you pick your criteria. So I'll choose where my keywords contain the word bat. But you can come inside here, and if you look through this list, there's just about everything you can think of. Any type of information about your photos that you could want to search on, you could find it inside of here. Okay? If you look down through here, rating, altitude, whether or not the flash fired, white balance, there's a lot of different things inside here. And then you could say contains, does not contain, starts with, or whatnot. You can add criteria just by clicking on these little plus icons, and you can get rid of it just by clicking on the little minus icons. And then you can also say if you want any of the criteria or all of the criteria to be matched. All right, so that's my smart collection. I'm going to go ahead and click on save and watch what happens here. I'm going to give it a name. I'm just going to call it batting and hit enter or return here. And when I click on that collection, I've got those 6 photos of people batting that show up inside of there. So real world situation. I am now looking on my computer. I'm not anywhere near those photos, but I want to see, somebody calls me up and says, hey, I need a photo of somebody batting for a magazine layout. I'd come over here, click on batting, and now it shows me all of those photos. But this is where the smartness comes in. Because now let's say fast forward to the next photo shoot. Okay? And what I'm going to do here is just go back to the Bridge folder that had all the baseball images in it. And if you recall, there was 2 at the bottom that I did not keyword. Well, I'm going to go ahead and select those and add the back keyword to them. Okay, so I've added the keyword to it. The smartness comes in because now when I go over to this smart collection, take a look here. Instead of 6 photos, now I've got 8. So it automatically went in and it updated this smart collection because it knew that I went and I changed or added some keywords to these photos. All right, that's pretty cool because it keeps us from having to police this collection and continually come in here and add more and more photos to it. As long as I'm good about keywording my photos, as long as every time I upload and I put new files or new photos and images inside here, as long as I'm good about keywording them, this collection will stay up to date for me. Now, I mentioned in the beginning that I know a very small percentage of you are probably sports photographers. So where does this come in handy for you? Well, if you're a wedding photographer, maybe people are always asking you for photos of a bride, or maybe a bride with flowers. That would be multiple criteria. A keyword of bride and a keyword of flowers. So you could create a smart collection that did that. The way that I think about it is it's a candidate for a smart collection if it's something that I'm constantly looking for. Personally, maybe I'm always looking for photos of my son Ryan. Well, as long as I'm good at keywording my photos as I add them to my computer and I add my son Ryan's name on here, you can see down here there's a Ryan keyword. As long as I add that, I can create a smart collection, and I know all photos of Ryan will always be inside of here, regardless of what folder they're located in on my computer. Because remember, where did I tell it to look? Mac K is my hard drive. That's my entire computer. It doesn't care what folder they're in, they're going to pop in inside of this smart collection. So if it's something you find yourself looking for a lot, then that could be a great candidate to create a smart collection.